Welcome to a very exciting Active Hobo episode. Anyone will know who watches us that we love to tell stories because stories matter. And we have two very special guests here today, Madi and Michelé from Carrol Boyes, who are coming to tell us a very special story. A story about these beautiful trophies in the background and beyond. Michelé, Madi, thank you for coming through.
Pleasure.
I'll allow you to introduce yourselves just so people understand where you fit into Carrol Boyes. And then we will very casually dive into these magnificent trophies that you've designed, why they matter, why design matters, and many other points as we go.
So I'm Michelé. I've been with Carrol Boyes for 19 years, and I look after the PR and the events for the company. So I worked very closely with Carrol as well on the bespoke designs. When Carrol was still alive, the calls would usually come through to me if there was a request for bespoke. And I would then obviously take all the details. She always used to say, let them give you a wish list. And then I would hand it over to the design team.
Enter Madi.
Okay.
You received these wonderful briefs, these wish lists.
Yes, we got the wish list. I'm Madi, I'm head of product, and I've been in the design department for 20 years. So many years working with Carrol, many of those years receiving the wish lists on bespoke. We always try to take that wish list and kind of create something special.
Those are very long tenures. It immediately stands out. What was it like working with Carrol?
It was amazing. It really was amazing. She was a phenomenal woman. She was an inspiration to us. And what I took from Carrol is that there was not a described or job spec that you got. You could do whatever you felt, or if you identified something that you wanted to do, you could develop that. So, she was giving you sort of leeway to do whatever you felt that worked for you and inspired you. But very, very lucky and grateful that I could spend all those years working for her.
Yourself, Madi?
Yeah.
I mean, she must have been somewhat of an inspiration.
Yeah, she was an amazing mentor from a product and design kind of perspective, obviously. So I kind of grew up in the company learning her design ethos. But she also liked to push boundaries and kind of have fun and didn't take things too seriously. So she was also kind of saying, what's new? What can we try next? And just keep things kind of fresh.
There's not much. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, Carrol built something truly niche, almost invented something that by many people's own admission didn't exist. I mean, how much of the market creates the opportunity for people to design the things that you design, to be able to do the things that you do? I mean, I'm definitely going to over-index on these trophies, which I think are exquisite. But I mean, within the industry, is there anyone that's pioneered and championed environments where people can design the things that you design there? Which is quite a broad array, right?
Maybe I'm being biased, but I suppose there are artists and designers out there that, could do something. But I just feel Carrol had a unique handwriting. We were actually chatting about it the other day, that it had to be perfect, even to the toenail of whatever design she was working on. But it also had to be different. She always would say, when we went into her office to present something, what makes this different? What is unique about it? And is it quirky?
Okay.
That was always the questions we would have rehearsed before we go in. And even if it was a presentation for an event or something, she would always say, what are you bringing here that is unique?
Okay. Which I suppose for someone that champions such a unique working culture, giving people the freedom to go in directions they want to, obviously that align with the business's values, I suppose that's not a major surprise. What an amazing ladies. I'm sure we could sit here and tell stories about things you've done, designed, brought to fruition things that maybe didn't come to fruition. I'm sure there's
Lots of those too.
there's a lot of those stories. Zoning in on let's start with the Cape Town cycle tour. We've got Cape Town cycle tour and the double century trophies, yeah?
Yeah.
Where does a process like that start? Is it a DM? Hey, we're looking for something bespoke, which sounds like such a silly question, but I thought to myself, like, how does that work? If I wanted a trophy, I suppose I'd Google it, but I mean, this isn't just any trophy. This is iconic.
It wasn't a DM those days, because that trophy was designed in 2013. So it was a phone call. It was a phone call from David Balez's office, and I'm sure it was Audrey that called and said, obviously the cycle tour was growing, and we would really like Carrol to design something for cycle tour, and would she be keen? So basically that would just be, okay, let me chat to her. How many are you looking at? But something like that, you wouldn't go into detail with whoever's making the call until she has said, yes, I am prepared to get the brief, or we have a meeting. And and then I would obviously go and chat to her, and then she would say, okay, let them give you their wish list. And I would let them tell me exactly what they wanted.
I would love to know Mr. Belier's wish list. Can you remember any standout points?
I believe for the cycle tour trophy, it was quite a short and simple brief, but a good one. I think it was kind of to hear the natural beauty of Cape Town. And I think Table Mountain was a specific request. And just the ethos of kind of being in and around Cape Town and what makes that different to being somewhere else in the country.
And I mean, your exposure to, I suppose to a lesser extent, cycling, but I know you have some cycling pedigree in your family. The event itself, you obviously got this brief. I'm sure you know what the event is. It's hard not to if you live in Cape Town. It's quite an intrusive event, to say the least. What were some of your thoughts around what the events, do those into your mind? Like my perception of the events, how I experience it as a non-cyclist, just as Madi or as Michelé. Does that layer into this? Does Carrol's own?
Yeah. The reason, to be honest with you, when Carrol heard it was David and it was a cycle tour, she said yes immediately. And I'll tell you why, is because John Boyes, Carrol's brother, always rode cycle tour. So he had been doing it for years, and she would wait. In the beginning, she would wait for the winners to come past. She knew exactly about 2 hours after they start. She had a home in Bantry Bay. So she would wait there for the winners to come past, and then go downstairs and then say, okay, at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, whatever time, she would come up and wait for John. So she was very proud of it. She was very proud of him. And obviously afterwards, he would go to her place. So when Cycle Tour came through, she was like, I want to do this. I really want to do it. And there was no question about design or anything. And she said to me, and I'm sponsoring it.
Okay.
I'm going to sponsor this. I want to be the...
It's a lovely sentiment.
Yeah.
How important is it for emotion to be present when designing, in the thing that you're designing and designing it for? Does that matter, or is that just philanthropic?
Yeah, I think emotion's it's always helpful to kind of create something authentic and that has depth beyond just the visual look and feel. So there was a lot of thought that went into these trophies. Everything was considered, everything was kind of conceptualized from the early days when that brief came through. We met with Carrol, the designers met with Carrol, and the designer's inspiration for this trophy was obviously kind of the layered levels of seeing those cyclists riding past en masse when it's kind of a blur. and you can just see the multiple cyclists. Obviously, there was Table Mountain, very important to have there. There's some penguins in there as well from the Simonstown part of the race. And then also you'll see that the female trophy is a little bit different. It's got the added protea detail at the back, which is also kind of like a bit of a
I did notice
kind
that.
of cog of or sprocket or part of a bike.
Yeah.
So everything kind of has
Everything
been
is
considered.
intentional.
It's circular, you know, it encircles Cape Town as the race goes all the way from start to finish. So, and
How many people work on a design like this? Is this one person? I know Holly is reading the notes. Holly had a big hand in this.
yes, so this is Holly's design. So we
Single person will conceptualize that, like this is the
Yes.
brief,
Yeah.
and you come up with that initial first draft of an idea. Is that verbally disseminated amongst the team, or does it go into like a sketch, or
Well, we'd get the wish list from Michelé and all the kind of event details and what the event organisers are thinking and what they would like, and then we'd sit with Carrol, we'd meet with her and kind of think of how could we do something and what kind of materials to work in. Obviously, we want to hero materials that we work with and we understand the production techniques with. So that while it might not look like a Carrol Boyes product, you know, it's got the metal, it's got the shiny polish. So then we'd all put our ideas or sketches together, and Holly put this concept down. I think through various sketches, kind of like saying how she could layer it and how to do it in laser cut stainless steel. And then we all sat around and Carrol said, that's the one. And then Holly
what
obviously...
is the timeline of something like this? Sorry for all the very entry-level questions, but I really don't know.
It's a good question, because anything that's out of our normal kind of production routine and technique is always going to take a bit longer. You know, once-offs you want to put quite a lot of effort into.
Sure.
So if you look at this trophy, just the one of them, that's 3 layers. So, you know, Holly took it from concept, and then you actually have to go, how do I actually make this thing?
Yeah.
So a lot of details, a lot of trial and error, making sure that, you know, when the layers were put together, it looks good and you can see the elements separately and together. So in a good couple of months.
Okay.
I know assembling this was quite a it takes time to put it together, but it's good because it's
the deliberation, the material, how you bring it together, concepts. Okay.
Usually when we take the brief, it would take from a year to 18 months. That is what I will tell whoever's brief is, from a year to from obviously designs and then to concept and the various.
There's obviously, you know, back and forth between, you know, communicating the concept and getting the go ahead and kind of showing a little bit further.
I think most people would have naturally thought that, to me, is long and certainly indicative of how detailed and nuanced it is. It's not like pick one out of the catalogue, put it into the production. It truly is crafted, ground up, and the design elements are far more iterative and inclusive than I would have imagined. I'm guessing if there's that many drafts back and forth and it's input back.
I do believe with Holly, because I always like to ask them, where did your inspiration come from? Was it like, when you saw it, I knew what I was going to do, you know? And I know with Holly, she said, I think she was walking in Silvermine the one day. She said for 3 weeks, she had absolutely no idea what she wanted to do. And she said, walking in Silvermine, and she looked down and she looked at the fynbos and everything. And then it gave her an idea. And also working with designers, because I would always like say, okay, they need it in 6 months, you know. Working with designers, they design and then they come back, It's a process, you know. And I wanted...
And then, of course, you have to make it.
And then so that is why
that's a tricky bit.
Carrol always used to say between 12 and 18 months.
Help me understand some of the complexities around making this. The one thing that immediately stood out, and I must just say, the moment I picked that up off the table downstairs, I've never picked up a trophy in my life. I don't think I've ever won anything. But picking that up, you certainly feel a sense of gravitas. I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah.
I was like, one, the weight is, that is, I don't know what it weighs, but certainly, it's a hefty trophy.
Yeah.
And you look at it and you see there's names on there. I know Mark Pritson quite well, and I know Tyler. We met a few of these people and seeing that name there, man, it's special. The moment you pick that thing up, this needs to leave Bale's office more frequently, because it's quite special to see and to hold it and to actually interact with it. I would never have thought that. I'm not a, airy-fairy person where I thought something like that would have any sort of impact, but you touch it and you hold it, look at it, it's quite something.
Yeah.
You can feel there's something has gone into it. This isn't your average trophy with just a name engraved on it. I didn't even think like the layered complexity of creating every piece of that and putting it together. So what were some of those specific challenges? What did that...
Just
Also, Madi, the wooden board with the plaques on, I mean, that also, I hear them discussing it, how it must look in it. That's also important. And I would have thought just a wooden board and a plaque, No, that gets, I need to ask, what are you going to engrave on it? How long do you think this trophy is going to be around for all the names on? So, like, very, 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 very detailed.
A lot of consideration.
A lot of consideration. Is the Cycle to a logo on it? Where does our logo stand? So there's a lot of that goes into it.
I'm glad that Table Mountain isn't over, too intrusive.
Yeah.
So when I hear what I would have imagined when you described that brief, I would have imagined like a Table Mountain and like cyclists going along it, but it would be so
Yeah, you don't want
vanilla.
it's too obvious.
And that circular,
the peninsula.
the hub of a wheel, you're saying that it's how the cycle tour goes around all of Cape Town. And this is the thing about design. When you start to understand what the intention is behind things, the beauty starts to reveal itself. Otherwise, you just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, even down to, and it was a fortunate accident for us, but even when we needed to figure out how to assemble all these layers together, luckily dome nuts and cycling go quite well together. So having that as a design feature and a bit of a homage to, how a bike's put together, we were like, yes, that was a happy coincidence, and that, adds to the design as well.
Yeah, that's the detail.
Yeah.
How are these individual pieces, components of that trophy made? Are they individually cut? And
it's a sheet metal, and then it's laser cut.
okay.
So there would be detailed drawings exactly to spec.
Is that also Holly?
Yes. She
Oh,
did
wow.
start to finish. I think I've got photos of her assembling it.
Okay. Gonna need
And
those.
cleaning all the little details. It's start to finish, from concept to kind of the back and forth and making sure everyone's aligned, to CADing it up and using our design programs and suppliers here to laser cut, and then getting our factory to polish it up, which is another thing, and
kind
then of course assembling
signature
it.
touch, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely the look.
Yeah.
Did Holly also assemble completely?
Yeah.
Oh, hectic.
I think she...
You should actually come and have a look at our setup in Pardon Island.
That was that's where we wanted to shoot this, but time was against us. But I will definitely come around and have a look. If there's like a smaller ad hoc type project that we can run through, we'd love to.
Yeah.
We'd mentioned to Andrew, you spoke about that podcast earlier, we want to go there and make a set of bibs. Like, let us try and make, as I have.
Yes.
Leading up to that, which I think he was traumatized by even the sight of those things. Just to understand, like you don't know, you just put a set of bib shorts on and you don't think much of it. You're like, oh, it's mass produced in some factories. No, it's not. It's handmade. You can't mass produce it. You have to.
Yeah.
And every time I put on bib shorts now, there's this part of me that's like, there's just some thankfulness to the person doing it. So the moment you understand that extra layer, again, it's like understanding the design intention and seeing it, how it's turned out. If you understand the process of making it, it's just the beauty lies in all that detail.
And it
all of
justifies
that.
the price.
I mean, can we talk about what the price would be if it wasn't donated? Is that allowed?
Well,
Could you
I certainly
hypothesize?
don't have a number at the top of my head, but I think, you know, there's the price of the material components and the kind of the physicality of what's there, but then also the time that goes behind it and the labor that went into finishing it
that
off and
must be
polishing
worth
it. And
priceless, right?
yeah, so it's, I think, off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to say, but I think it's definitely something that's taken a lot of time,
Significant.
consideration, and attention to detail.
I would equate this is going to sound very, I said earlier, I'm not very fluffy unicorns is what I refer to the extreme creative stuff as, but that to me is more art than it is a trophy. A trophy is almost like
Yes.
it's almost like the wrong word. Like, I know that's what it is. The spirit of it is it's awarded to someone for winning, but it's an incredibly challenging thing to do. But it's far more art than it is a trophy. Trophy is like it's not the right word for that.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And that is
And
why
that's-
Carol, like, it had to be different. It had to be something that nobody else, because we would look at other trophies in, you know.
I was just going to ask that. Have you seen anything else that would have inspired you?
No.
'Cause I can't think of one.
We've looked at Tour de France, we've looked at all those big events,
Yeah.
but
Well,
no.
I think you look at trophies, and you know, and if there are trophies that, you know, perhaps did kind of inspire, you don't want to do the same thing. So
No, it's
So-
more, have you seen
yeah,
a trophy where you're inspired by the effort and the creative integrity that went into it? It was more, not necessarily to work back from. I've got no idea, and as a result of this, and I hope anyone that's watched this, any trophy I ever see ever again, I'm going to go and do some basic due diligence on where did it come from? Was there a designer involved? Was there some sort of arts involved? Because what a shame to not
Yeah.
know the beautiful story that sits behind this trophy,
Yeah.
which I don't think, we were saying this off camera earlier,
Yeah.
I don't know of the 30,000 odd participants that do cycle tour, how many of them have seen that trophy?
True.
Whether as an image or otherwise. I certainly hadn't. We're brutally honest on this podcast, often to my demise in the comment section of YouTube and Instagram. But as an enthusiast, I've never, because it's probably just so unobtainable, like why would I even look at that thing? Like I'm never going to see it. But you've missed this magical story of this 18-month process that Holly herself went through, and Carol, and how she watched her brother. Like that's a great story.
It's a
And
beautiful
humans
story.
are resonating more and more with
Yeah.
stories, and creatives, designers are the best at making them. That's the reality. And that's in this world overruled by AI and zero emotion, those stories start to scream much louder than the AI robot noise that's really quite dull and being drowned out. So
yeah.
this will fundamentally alter the way I look at any trophy for the rest of ever. I did see in the press release, though, that there was one Tour de France trophy that did stand out, and I'd be very interested to know in which one it was. There was something about the handcrafted nature of the Tour de France trophy that stood out.
Do you recall?
I don't know which one it was.
No.
And I don't know how much it was.
Oh, no. Yeah. The wrong
I don't know
one.
how much it was the design or the finished look, but it seemed to emphasize the handcrafted, the physicality of it. Like it wasn't CAD print assembled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fundamentally human.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite interesting.
What Holly would do, or Madi, whoever's designing the trophy, would sometimes come and sit and chat with somebody that knows maybe the sport or the company, and ask questions. How do you feel? What is the worst part of the race? What is the best part of the race? You know, and that type of thing. What inspires you? And you would just talk, and then they would take those, and you don't know what they're
Yeah,
going to
you don't know what
use,
they're
but they
gonna-
would
yeah.
take those comments and then come up with something and said, yeah, but you said that at the first robot there's a turn, you know,
Yeah.
so this is what it means. So things like that. So she obviously would have gone and done her research, and there must have been something that, because I know that obviously Carol did look at like the biggest races in the world just to see what they were doing.
Yeah, sure. Makes sense.
Yeah, so there must have been a conversation between the designers then that, you know, this is what she saw and this is, you know, where she got her inspiration from.
I love it. And we have anyone that's watched all of our episodes will be rolling their eyes that I say this again, but Aaron Borrell, he works as a technical editor in Cycling Weekly, which is the biggest cycling publication in the world. He's from South Africa and he works there. And he often talks about South Africans have a weird self-perception problem where we don't perceive ourselves as the same as American and European counterparts, when in reality, Garmin, Wahoo, Wheeltop, there's these major big tech and component brands in cycling. Their CEOs are South African. The head of performance for Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe, UAE, the best World Tour teams in the world are South Africans. Specialized. And still, they're not there and they've immigrated. They're Andrew Gold, a brilliant example. Like they are comparable to the world. And this is just another magnificent example of, we don't hold our own, we better than. And I just love these stories. I love seeing this and experiencing it. And I'm sitting in front of two people that are 20 years, 40 years between the two of you deep in this business. And it's magic. It's beautiful. And unfortunately, you need to help people understand that. You just say that. So that you blink up and you're like, yeah, that's right. This is as good as. But we've got to get it out of Dave's office. We've got to put it somewhere so we can see it and interact with it.
No, but I must admit, when Dave saw it for the first time,
I was going to ask, what was that like?
No, he said, there's nothing in the world like this. And it's an iconic South African and a woman, that designed it. He said, there's nothing like this. And that is why we haven't changed it. Because I think he's so in love with the trophies. He says there's nowhere else in the world have you seen something like this. And he just wanted to leave it as is. And we haven't changed it. We haven't changed one thing to the trophy since it was launched in 2013.
Which only adds to the character of it. I mean, long may those days last.
Absolutely.
Maybe we need to add a few plaques. Put some
there's
levels on the
space
wood.
on the side.
How often was he able to see the progress of the concept, or was it like when it's done you see it, out of interest?
Sometimes we do break it down, like there's probably sketches in the beginning. It also depends on the customer. Like sometimes they will say to me in the beginning, I want to see this, I want to see that. And David he was just, this is what I want.
Probably the most kind of, one of the more relaxed clients in terms of kind of,
trust your judgment.
Show me your thinking in the beginning, and then.
So when you got to see the grand reveal, it was a proper like American reality show vibe. Like, okay.
And I think things like this you can see on sketches, and you can see on CAD renderings and models to kind of like give an idea. But when you see it, it's so striking. It's completely different.
I mean, obviously, I'd researched it before, but it's the first time seeing it in person, and I can say for free, as good as the imagery is, it does no justice. You've got to see it.
I think for him it was...
multi-layers is so cool.
For him it was the details and what Holly was thinking. Why, and for him that was very interesting.
The circle's going to stay with me forever. I'm never going to let go of that. That's brilliant.
There's nothing on that trophy that is not there for a particular purpose.
Yeah.
Well done, Holly. What a legend.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely.
Did Dave see it in private, or was it like a grand reveal?
No, it was in private first. It was in private. It was in Carol's office.
Man, to be a fly on the wall then, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
And any sentiments from Carol on it? I mean, she obviously, her opinion is just as important. Would she have been intricately involved throughout? Or was there any moment where it was like she didn't see it finished and then saw it finished and got to have like an impression? No,
she was involved. Because she had such passion for the cycle tour, always been like I said, watching her family ride. She wanted to be involved. She really wanted to be involved, and like she said the day, she obviously called me in and she said when I think it was like 90% finished, she said, what did they say about budget? And I'm like, it's a bit late now for budget. And she just said, I want to be the official sponsor of this race. So there's no cost to it, And but I could feel the passion from her, from day one when I sat down with her. I could see that she really wanted to do it.
And that doesn't happen all the time, right?
No.
I mean, you guys are designing. Yeah, there's
Yeah, I
obviously
think
quite a bit of skill behind Carrol Boyes. It's not
Yeah.
like you're doing one piece a year.
And we get a lot of calls. Obviously, after Cycle Tour and DC, this Cape Town Marathon, we then get a lot of calls from companies wanting us to do bespoke.
Sure.
But, we need to
This
be
one was different. This one
selective,
was.
yeah.
Now, that's probably a good segue to. These are super impressive, and we will go around them with the camera, so there'll be some B-roll for anyone to see them. But actually, before we go off this, other than on the day of Cycle Tour, there's no intention for this to live somewhere people can go and physically interact with it.
Yes, it's at the expo.
At the expo?
So what we do is every year we will provide David them with plinths. We obviously had the plinths delivered to the expo, and then the trophies are displayed there. And then people can obviously take photos. We see a lot of photos coming through of the trophies at the expo, and then obviously the next day it goes to the race. And I always get told as soon as the photos are taken, they take it back. They're just so scared that the the winner will go off with it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I can understand why, but you're not going to run away with that in a hurry.
No, it's a bit, and you got your bike, no.
And if that were to topple over, it's probably not going. It's going to damage what it falls on. That's a sturdy. That's a sturdy trophy.
We've got some beautiful photos of winners with the, looking through the circle through the trophy. Some really, really stunning images.
Yeah, we can overlay some of those as B-roll as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get those from you guys.
Yeah, some nice.
Okay, so if you're at Cycle Tour, the expo, which pretty much everyone has to be, make sure you go and find the trophy, take a picture, tag Carrol Boyes and post it. It's the bare minimum. This isn't the only trophy you guys have designed. We have my favorite race, which is the DC over there. Dave obviously loved the concept around trophy layering, if we can call it that.
Yeah.
I can relate at a very deep emotional level to what each of those layers represent, but I'll let you speak through it. But before we get into it, the DC Cycle Tour, is there, internally within the team, is there a favorite? Is there any preference? If I worked at Carrol Boyes, I'd be like, I want to be on the DC trophy.
Yeah, I think for me, I also prefer the DC. I like the DC.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of hype around, because obviously we put a team together for the DC, so we have a Carrol Boyes team, and there's a lot of hype around that because there's so many people that we get so many calls and so many DMs wanting to ride for the Carrol Boyes team. But it's always been that it needs to be, obviously, we try and get as many staff.
Sure.
But because of, it's 200 kilometers, it's a lot of training. So we're very selective who rides for the team,
Have you got a deep pool of talent to choose from within?
We are about five, six at our office that are riders.
Okay.
And then for our sister company, Fruit One, there are about 2.
Okay.
But so we usually pull, this year we had, 2025, we had 7 potential riders.
Okay.
And then it ended up in 2.
Okay.
Because then obviously, people didn't want to train, you know how it goes.
Everyone knows. Yeah, that's the...
So we make sure that there needs to be Carrol Boyes, obviously, riding the event. So we try and bring in as many as we can. But,
And the objectives for the team, foster 6 over the line, Charles Milner?
No, the objective is all Charles Milner, definitely. The first 2 years we didn't. And then last year, 2025, the objective was to get all 12 over 8.5 hours. And that is, we a social team and we're there to have fun.
Okay.
But it doesn't always, pan out like that.
That's the beauty of the DC. Yeah. But eventually, after however many beers required in that tent, you find one another. And it's there's a story that gets told for another 12 months. And you just keep going back. It's such a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful, I really enjoy it. what we did this year different was, because every year we try, Carrol Boyes' product is an experience. Carol's always said, when you sit down and have dinner at the dinner table and you've got my salad servers on, it needs to be an experience. So we always try and make the DC an experience for our riders or for our team. So what we did this year, when we were only like 2 left, we looked at our partners. Who's making our jerseys, who is doing this, and then we invited, because you also need to get a balance, because you've got guys and girls, so we need to get a balance. So then we looked at partners and then we started inviting who we have good relationships with, and to come and write for us and give other people also an experience. And so that was quite nice, and it worked out very well.
Okay.
So it worked out very well for us.
Glad to hear that. Madi, are you coming to participate anytime soon?
No.
You're awfully quiet on the topic.
I'm just going to go with bikes are expensive. So
Oh, that's an easy tap.
I won't go in the thin end of the wedge.
Have you, obviously you had the banter around the office. As a designer, does that enter the fold for this one in particular? Do you...
Yeah, I think there's always a bit of a buzz as Michelle and the crew are getting everything together, and of course then you see them modelling their kits and having
Everyone's
some
very
photos.
proud of their matching
And
kits.
yes,
Yeah.
so there's definitely a buzz around the office and some camaraderie.
Yeah, our cycle to a jerseys arrived today.
Oh, nice.
So we also got now, some new ones for this year. So
be eager to see what those look like. I mean, that's another whole design rabbit hole
Yeah.
you can go down. Like a jersey's not just a jersey. They've become quite a meticulous process.
And we want to be different. So that's always the brief.
Similar color scheme? Is it black and white?
Yes, it's black and white.
Okay.
We are looking at something really, really crazy for DC.
Okay.
But wait and see.
Yeah, you can't tease me this early on. I can start talking about DC from now till November, no problem. Some of the details behind this trophy. Do you want to talk through what these layers represent? I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I think this brief also landed on our desk because of the response to the cycle tour trophy.
I have to go and buy like a little simple trophy after that one. You're like ruined for life now, actually. It's like it has to be a Carrol Boyes trophy.
So let me think. I think because it had kind of come through this avenue kind of after seeing that trophy, we knew Holly needed to design it. We needed her same kind of handwriting and Carol's handwriting together to come through. And I think, again, she knew she's going to do the layering technique, the laser cut works. And then I think she just also spoke to a lot of people who've done the race, who know about the race and kind of, what's special about it, what can she bring in visually and kind of sentimentally. So you'll see at the front, obviously there's the beautiful floral design, and that's inspired by the farms and the nature reserves that are on the route, and quite in contrast to the round cycle tour trophy, this one's very steep, which I believe anyone who has done the race will know exactly what that represents. 5 little
bumps in the road we can all name off the top of our heads.
Yeah. So I think that's where she took the overall kind of design out of. And then obviously the cyclists and a lot of if you speak to anyone who's done the DC, they talk about how you absolutely need teamwork to stay together, to get everyone through. And you'll see a lot of the little men, 1 or 2 of them have a hand kind of reaching back, helping up their teammates,
That's
encouraging
such a brilliant
them.
Detail.
And of course the leader at the top kind of, raising their hand and encouragement to get everyone to the top of that hill. So at first glance it's a shiny trophy, but then you kind of look at all the details and understand what they mean and represent.
The different layers representing the climbs, I just love that. And the arm over, it's just like nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailed it. That's, really well done.
When that the call came through for the DC trophy, David was very obviously specific in what he wanted, because nobody in our team had done DC, so we didn't know about Op de Trudeau or any of those climbs. Nothing.
Yeah.
And that you need to be a team of 12. No.
Yeah.
So he went through that with Holly in detail, about the farms and how the trust works together with the farms and what they do, and so hence she has got such detail there.
And again, a lot of people that do that race won't even know what the trust does with the farms. So it's like the opportunity for a trophy to be so much more than recognition to the fastest team on a day and to tell a story. I necessarily didn't delve deep into the trust and the farms. That's like, it's not what we're there for. We go there to absolutely murder ourselves and basically destroy our teammates as much as humanly possible. But for that to happen, for there to be a race every year, there needs to be a farm, there needs to be a trust. All these things need to happen. For us to go and ride our bikes on the road, a lot of things need to happen. And all too often, cyclists forget the ecosystem they're a part of and what needs to happen. So again, just my own personal experience interacting with these trophies, it's phenomenal what they can do. And then the stories they can tell. So I, to a lesser extent on the cycle tour, because I'm so far behind that result happening, it's unbelievable. But in the DC, you can punch above your weight. You don't, to be in the top 10 of cycle tour is impossible. You have to be one of the 10 strongest cyclists in the whole country. To be in the top 10 of DC, you just need a really well-oiled machine and you need a collective strength. So, I see that team come past. I've seen the DMS train come flying past. It's one of the most beautiful things about that race is that the guys that win will pass just about everybody in the field. So you get to experience, you could never do it in cycle tour. People would lose their lives. The rush of the fastest team out there coming past you, often with World Tour pros in it. And you look at that trophy and there's no results. You can see there's DMS, and then nothing. And then there's, these other teams that are starting to take over. And there's stories in each one of these things, which I know. And anyone who didn't know could look at that and be like, oh, what happened there? There was no adventure. And it prompts you to go and look deeper into the story than what you might have otherwise. It's just...
Yeah, because somebody
it's
once said...
profound, the impact that, just looking at that, that it can have. I absolutely love it. It's so well done.
It is. I think it just tells the story of DC.
It's all in there.
Would you have thought as a designer and working in the PR department of Carrol Boyes 19 years ago, there'd be such a strong connection between cycling and design?
No, I don't think so.
It's pretty wild, right? I mean, that's not...
Although what started to happen when cycle tour trophies were launched, like I said, John just used to ride cycle tour on his own with his friends. Then Carrol, I think the year after we launched the trophy, she said, no, but now you have to ride in a Carrol Boyes jersey, because everybody just rode in their own jerseys. And then she was like, no, you need to ride in the jersey, because she would say, like, Michelle, why are you riding in somebody else's jersey? And then we started putting teams together. And although it's not a team, we just said, okay, whoever wants to participate, we will pay and we'll give you a cycling jersey. And hence we started designing then Carrol Boyes cycling jerseys, and it then obviously got bigger and bigger. So I don't know. I mean, she would have obviously been very proud of the DC, should have loved it, because every year when we ride, John and Sandy would come and meet us at the first VIP stop, the first water one. They would wait for us there. They're always waiting there for us, the first stop. So
that's very special.
So I think maybe if she were alive, she would have done that. I'm sure she would have been there because because he always says, when he chats to me, he always says, you've put in, or the team has put in 6-7 months of training. The least we can do is be there for you at your first,
Yeah, of
the first
course.
100 kilometer
Yeah.
or 150, whatever.
Yeah, it's amazing. I and many others have had profound trajectory changes in where our lives were going to end up as a direct result of starting cycling. Like profound. It's people think it's about whatever, wearing lycra and matching white socks to your shoes, and it's much more than that. It's like therapy you couldn't even begin to dream about. And as much as there's this impact that design and this very unique brand and this iconic lady has brought, in a very big way, her own flair to two of the biggest cycling events in South Africa, quite frankly. Like that in and of itself is probably a connection not many people would have made. And it shows you the power of design and creativity. I think that for me stands out head and shoulders above the rest. But how that same brand is now bringing people to this thing that is, as much as road goers may not like cyclists, it's one of the most profound things you can do for your personal well-being. Like,
Absolutely.
you bring someone to cycling, speaking from our own experience, it will literally change your life in ways you could never begin to imagine. That's why so many people do it. The moment that bug bites, it's game over. And the idea of it being this expensive thing that you got to buy, you start to very quickly justify it's an investment in my life I have to make.
Yeah.
And you won't believe how quick that happens.
Yeah.
And I mean, if one person has got involved in cycling and done a cycle tour or finished a DC and experienced that unity that cycling brings, even when you're competing against someone, like the impacts Carrol will have had on that person's life, if it's just that one person, is worth it.
Yeah.
And you're doing that in scale now. You know, wear the jersey. Someone else will see the jersey. Maybe a client sees the jersey, like, oh, this beautiful brand that has my salad bowl experience erupting in the kitchen and in the dining room table every other Sunday. Like, maybe I should give it a go. Who knows? I mean, I'd love to know from your user base how many people have decided to maybe give cycle tour a punt because of Carrol Boyes and them were involved. Like, why not me?
But we actually, on DC, you get a lot of obviously chirps from the riders, like, let's swap jerseys, wait for me at the corner, like, Michelle, where's my salad service, So we get a lot of that while we're riding.
Yeah.
But we obviously get lots of calls afterwards to purchase the kit, but it's exclusive. It's just for the riders, We don't just hand it out. But there's one thing that we've also wanted to do at work, and Carrol, I think, would have approved it, is to have a women's only team, because she was, passionate about women and, empowerment and all that. So for me, it's always been, we tried, but it's just never, materialized that we just got a women's team, because then we'll have to have two teams, because what about the guys at work that also ride? So, but we obviously, when we send out the communication at the office before DC to say who wants to join, there is an option that if you are really keen and you're really going to put the training in, because it's a big investment for the company.
It's not cheap, not
and
at all.
You get
It's a huge
100% sponsored. Everything is sponsored that we do. So you just
the
need to
high
arrive, and we do, like I say, we do send out, and we will obviously assist, because we can talk to our partners. So it's always been a dream, is to take somebody that really, really wants to, and then help them, get them a coach, get them the gear that they need and a bike and something like that, whatever but at the moment, it's just, like I say, the staff. I started riding because I had to, I had to do DC. I couldn't let my colleagues ride.
I love it. I had to.
Take one for the team.
I took one for the team.
You didn't, but I'm glad you did. What has your personal experience been having gotten into cycling?
Well, I come from a cycling family. My dad and my uncle were Springbok cyclists. They were the last to go to Olympics in 1963, before we were, obviously, South Africa was pulled out. So, so I've always, been part of that. My youngest brother turned semi-pro in Europe many years ago, and now both my brothers ride, and then my son also rides, and he also rides competitive. And then I had to join the boys. So mine has just been, it was just obviously, it's part of the DNA, but I always wanted to, stay fit, and also for stress, and it's easier for me to get on a bike and ride than run. So
Yeah, amen to that.
yeah. So with cycle tour, obviously Carol's like, we need to get a team together. So I started riding, and then with DC, I never rode for the first 3 years because I didn't think I would be able to do it. I just thought 200 kilometers, and my brothers were like, you've only got 3 hours to do it in, and all that. They were like making me obviously nervous, and do you know how much training? And then the one day I just was driving to work, and I thought to myself, no. I never told anybody until about, I was 3 months into my training, because I got a coach, and 3 months into my training, my brother Stephen WhatsApped me and said, why are you on Strava so much? What's happening?
Oh, I love it.
And then I still denied it. I said, no, it's just that I want to keep fit and lose weight, and, so I'm training. And then the mistake I did was, my Garmin, there was something wrong with it, and I asked my son to just check what is wrong with my Garmin. It's not giving me the right information. And he said, why are you on Training Peaks?
Training Peaks is extreme.
And then
that is not your average punter. That is.
And then he obviously went into it, and he said, oh.
That is so funny.
And then he obviously saw my goal was DC. Yeah. And then he said, oh, Ma, okay, that's why you...
The avid cyclists will really appreciate that part of the story.
And
Training Peaks is if you know, sort of app on your phone.
Yeah.
And what did it feel like finishing that?
Amazing. I did get a coach, and I trained for 7 months, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
What I did was I trained through winter, because from June, July. So what I did was I just set myself up at home. Obviously the boys came, and, we went and we got everything so that I could train during the week at home, because it's dangerous for me to go out at night and it's dark, and, So I would then, like I said, train during the week at home, and then weekends I would do my long rides with the team and with like...
So impressive.
With whoever.
I love it.
Yeah, and then, but... it was amazing. My first one was amazing. I think I was obviously well equipped, and I trained well. Yeah. So I wasn't like that tired, and it felt good.
If you can finish 200 Ks and not be that tired, you've done well.
Yeah.
And you'll be doing them for many years to come, right? I mean, there's no slowing down.
I've done two now last year. So I was thinking, maybe this year not, but...
Time for Madi to step in.
Yes, Madi.
I feel like we're rallying around Madi too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
I think we need to, as a podcast, as a channel, we have this, we're super focused on cycling because it's easy, because I'm relatable, because I do it. But we do speak to a small and hopefully soon to be grown running audience. And there is a trophy that you guys are involved with there as well. It is the Cape Town Marathon?
Yeah, Cape Town Marathon.
It's only that from a running point of view.
Is it?
Is there any others?
No, that's the only one.
Okay.
That's the one, yeah.
So I almost feel as if we should save that for a separate occasion where we have some running pedigree to lean into the story. But that's around the corner as well. So you guys are, I just love how locked in as a brand Carrol Boyes is. My favorite human being I've ever known, other than my daughter and wife, is my grandmother. She was a Carrol Boyes nut. She loved it. Like, no one else in my family is particularly fancy. We're very simple people from Benoni and Joburg. Like, we have simple things. We froth over like cone filters on cars and exhausts, like that was as sophisticated as it got. And there was my nana, who was the classiest woman I've ever met in my entire life. She will always be. And she loved Carrol Boyes. And there's always been this connection between my grandmother, late grandmother, she passed away, and Carrol Boyes. I would never in a million years would I be drawn to go and buying that kind of thing. That's not just not who I am. But I do, because it's amazing how personal those connections are. Like Dana would have liked this.
Yeah.
And for this hobby that has borderline saved my life or rescued it from being, a complete dog show, which is what happens when you don't have healthy hobbies. For that to have any overlap in any way, shape or form, let alone these magnificent trophies on my favorite events, with this brand that my Nana loved, it's a really weird connection of, like, you would just never see these things coming together. So it's, when I got the email from you too, I would never have, mentioned the sort of connection, but that's how personal and strange and unique and specific these things are. So to say that, I appreciate what has been built by the amazing people that have come before, Carrol, and that she has such an amazing, well-established, long-standing team. To see that going forward, we spoke earlier about the term legacy, how important that is, and I think that initiative, that trophy, which I think is a nice point to end on. But that's a trophy, right? And that represents a specific thing. If you think legacy, my grandmother's legacy drives me till today. I still do things, people ask, like, where does your drive come from? Why do you do these things? I want to make Nana and Opal proud. They dead and gone long ago. For all I know, they don't look down from heaven, and that's not a real thing. Who knows? But there's this drive to make them proud, and it's really special to see the drive beyond just delivering physical things that you both have to Carol's vision. That's legacy to me. That's an extremely powerful and very difficult thing to create, and not everyone leaves one behind, at least not a positive one.
No, I think when you start digging deep, when you're tired, you think of, it's our trophy there. We need to do it. We need to finish together. It's a team effort, and we help each other. Even if it's just talking or sharing a water bottle or something. But it's very special on that day. I do think about it a lot when she would be extremely proud of us, and then you want to finish. You're riding with her name on your back. And so it is a very special moment.
The legacy trophy.
The legacy trophy.
It's a nice story that I again wasn't aware of. I think it's.
So when we sat down with David and Donnie Bruce from Old Mutual, we said, okay, Carrol had also just passed away. She passed away in 2019, and we had the meeting with Donnie and David in 2021. 2021. And we then said to them, we would obviously want to get involved, and it would be a sponsorship. But we would like to introduce the Legacy Trophy in Carol's honor. And I mean, David said, absolutely. And then it's exactly the same trophy. So it looks exactly the same. But we wanted it to be like, who do we give it to? What is the story behind it? And I also wanted to think about what Carrol was about, how she helped people and her staff, and how she was involved. So we wanted to give it to somebody that has done something unique. And every year we would brainstorm, like, is it somebody maybe that has brought entered a team that couldn't afford, and has paid, and we just never it just never gelled. It wasn't strong enough, And then David would say to me the day, it will come, and I'm like, we're running out of time, this Legacy Trophy is here, and we need a beautiful story. And they also spoke to Fahad about it, and he was like, don't push it, it will happen at the right time. And then last year...
I know things, these guys.
Yeah, I was sitting at my desk, and then I was obviously scrolling through Instagram, and I saw this team that had entered, that was visually and physically, impairments, and I said that because the one teammate, there was a tandem because the one guy is blind. And I immediately emailed David and Audrey, and I said, this is how I see it, and this is, how we can potentially execute it. And he came back and he said, brilliant, let's do it, And it was so difficult for me not to say anything to anybody, because then we had the trophy delivered to him and we said, you can talk to the Old Mutual team and you guys can decide how you're going to present it. But this is the team that we think was our GM, Matt. I spoke to him as well and he was like, no, Michelle, I can sign it off for you. And we left it like that. And the day, obviously, of the prize giving, it was handed out to them as the first Carrol Boyes Legacy trophy. So, and that made it was awesome to see them along the way and knowing, like, you just want to say to them, guys, just get to the finish. There's such a big surprise for you, But I obviously couldn't say anything. So that was, and she would have been proud. And I also, obviously, Matt spoke to John and Charles Boyes, and they were like, that's fine. I think that's the right objective. And now the Legacy Trophy is there.
Magic alignment between, I'm very lucky to have met the people you're talking about, Donnie, Farad, Balaise. There's so much good intention out there.
Yeah.
And those people in particular, Donnie and Farad care about legacy. They'll care about, the spirit in which you, under the umbrella of Carrol, want this thing to be given. Like, they really care. Dave really cares. And it's too few people know that these individuals and these brands stand for those things, which to me is important. They are big brands, they are big corporates, they do also have to make ends meet, and they do have budgets and they do have revenue goals, but so do the rest of them. But not all of them have that nature built into them and have that goodwill in their hearts.
Yeah.
So it's, again, you got to put a spotlight on these things because no one does, and that's, use it, don't use it as a viewer or someone that now knows this, but that's, I don't know about that Legacy Trophy, and I'll certainly look out for that in future to go and just hear about the story behind the people that win it. Having said that, in future, whoever those people are, let us know, because we'll happily do our part in helping you tell their story as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
The little bit that we have, we'll be happy to do. Legacy is a very nice note to end this on. You guys have a very fortunate role and thing that you work in, where you have physical stuff that really does have legacy that sits behind it. I can see it. It's tangible as much as it isn't. I hope this little video will have some legacy it leaves behind for whoever watches it for many years to come. Thank you for all the effort and the stuff that you guys do. I know I'm sure there's times that it's thankless. Thank you for cycling. Please make sure Madi at least once give it a bash.
I'll get onto it.
And it'll just be that hunnering voice that you're going to have for the rest of ever.
She already got into running at one point.
Look, if you can run, you can cycle. Running's far worse. And also just thank you for your time. I know you're extremely busy. You've got lots going on, particularly this close to cycle tour and all the other things going on. So really, really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for letting me see these special trophies in such close proximity. We look forward to telling many more wonderful stories, hopefully with you. I will see you at DC come Hello High Water.
Yes, we will.
Not your last one last. You're going to have to do one more.
Oh, okay.
She started training from June in winter, so it's not too late for Madi to get stuck in and get fit.
Yes, Madi, I can help you. Yeah. No.
Along with the rest of the team. But thank you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having us and us sharing, Carol's story.
Long may it last.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.